Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the evidence you're about to present in the matter under hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Your Honor, are you judging me? And no law is above God's law. So I cannot honor any of your laws. It supersedes every single law that you guys have given me. I am friends with the IRS.
If you enjoy content like this, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps support the channel. Now, let's get into today's courtroom clip. And it's definitely one worth watching. We're looking at a rather unusual hearing, involving a woman who's in court for not paying over $2,000 in legal fees. Her entire defense centers around her claim that she's not a citizen, and that she only follows what she calls God's law, not the laws of the court. Despite having previous legal issues, she continues to argue her case based on these beliefs. What makes this hearing especially interesting is how the judge handles the situation. He stays calm but firm, and it's clear he's not buying her arguments. You'll also see the attorney step in and push back on her claims. In the end, the judge hands down a sentence that many would say fits the situation. It's a fascinating exchange all around. Big thanks to Court Nerds for sharing this clip. We're going to react to it and break it down. I'll jump in here and there with commentary, so let's dive in and take a look at how this all plays out.
We're asking that Ms. Lott is incarcerated until the $2,755.40 is paid, Your Honor. And Your Honor, I am asking for attorney fees for today. Your Honor, and even me having to file this motion and continue to, I guess, seek attorney fees from Ms. Lott, Your Honor.
What are you asking for today?
Your Honor, for today, Your Honor, I'm asking for $1,500, Your Honor. And I can provide my affidavit to the court, Your Honor. We had to communicate with the court, Your Honor. I've been practicing law since 2008, Your Honor. I've been in good standing since that time. Your Honor, I charge my client a flat fee of the $1,500 just to try to see, just so we can file this motion for incarceration.
All right, Ms. Lott, raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the evidence you're about to present in the matter under hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Your Honor, are you judging me?
If you want to call it that, but I assume you want to testify on your own behalf.
Yes, I do. And if the attorney is not going to be sworn in, that is a conflict of interest. And I have filed motions. I filed a quo warranto because I have searched for law licenses and I have not found any. There's been no true judges since 1789. And the United States filed a Chapter 11 in 1933, which lost their sovereignty as a government. So I can't even be heard here. I have asked the court to provide me documentation stating that this is an Article 3 court. I have not gotten anything back from the judge with any type of documentation from the Attorney General, from the Secretary of State. You guys have not had permission to try me, and no law is above God's law. So I cannot honor any of your laws. It supersedes every single law that you guys have given me. I have tried to settle this in court. I have filed a fiduciary relationship, 56. I am friends with the IRS. I have attempted to settle with a $20 money order because there is no money with the court, and everything was sent back. So rejection of payment is payment, Your Honor. And my religion strongly prohibits any satanic laws or rituals, and I cannot serve two masters. So either I don't even know what to do here in this matter, because I have asked to be tried in an Article 3 court. This is not a court of equity. God's law trumps all laws made by man. God also says no man should be judged, or you will be judged. This is my religion. I have not broken any of God's laws. I have not committed any crimes. I have not harmed my offspring. I am the first lien holder on my child's estate. So there is nothing that I can do for Miss LaFleur, and I will not be paying it because my God told me not to. He gave me the instructions on what to do, and you guys refused it. You guys refused my quo warranto because it wasn't written in the way that you accept it, but I am not under your laws. I am friends with the IRS. I have sent out my documentation. I have my own contract with myself. I don't have a contract with you guys. I have not signed anything, and I am not a 14th Amendment corporate war citizen. I am a natural person. That is what I have to say.
You have any questions for Ms. Lott, Ms. St. Fleur?
Yes, Ms. Lott, were you present in court for the petition for legitimation with Tariq Crump?
Miss LaFleur, can you provide me your
It's St. Fleur. It's St. Fleur. It's not Little Fleur. If we're gonna quote all of these articles, make sure you get my name right. It's St. Fleur.
Fleur?
It's St. Fleur. Well, just were you in court? I mean, I'm not sure if any of the articles could tell me, but were you in court?
Questions. I have no further answers for any of your questions. I said what I said. This law does not trump God's law. I'm under God's law, and that's it.
Well,
Honestly, she didn't say much of substance there. It's surprising the judge managed to keep such a straight face throughout. Maybe it's his experience, he's probably seen just about everything in court by now. Still, her arguments come off as completely disconnected from reality. She brings up this idea of sovereign law, which, to be fair, some people do mention when they don't want government involvement in their lives. But here's the thing. If you're in court because you've repeatedly broken the law, like shoplifting and failed to pay the resulting fines, that defense really doesn't hold up. Her reasoning might make sense if she were wrongly accused, but in this case, she's facing the consequences of her own actions. So it makes sense the court is holding her accountable. The argument just doesn't work here. Now, whether she genuinely believes what she's saying or is just trying to avoid responsibility is unclear. Some people might act erratic in court hoping for leniency, but in this situation, it feels more like she genuinely believes her claims, which is concerning. In my opinion, based on what we've seen in this virtual hearing, she may need a professional evaluation. Her state of mind is clearly not aligned with the reality of the legal system. It's also surprising how patient the judge is being. But maybe that's just part of dealing with the wide range of people who come through courtrooms. These days, regardless of your views on government or the law, there comes a time when you have to face the consequences of your actions. Let's jump into the second half of this clip, where the judge finally steps in and delivers a strong response.
saying you had 10 days to pay this $2,755.40. Do you have any proof that any payment was made?
I have the proof here, and this was sent back to me. This is the money order that I sent to the court.
That's
Your
that
law-
$20 thing you said?
Yes, it is. That is the settlement that is written in your laws. I did send the thing. They sent it back, and refusal of payment is payment. So I will handle it with the IRS from here.
Well, $20 doesn't equal $2,755.40.
Or any court fees cannot supersede to $20, and that is what I paid as a natural person. I don't know about any U.S. citizen. I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm a natural person and a private American. I've not committed any crimes under God's law. I have not stolen. I have not bear false witnesses. I have not killed anyone. I have not dishonored my mother and my father, and I have not put any man before God, and I will not put any of you guys before God either.
Fine. All right, Ms. Lott, I'm gonna find you in contempt of court for failure to pay the $2,755.40. Order you incarcerated, that is jailed, until you've paid the money.
I will be taking it up with the IRS, and I will be filing liens because you guys do not have liens over myself, my estate, or my child. So
You'll take it up with the sheriff first.
no, I will not, because the sheriff does not have any jurisdiction.
Turn
Do not-
yourself in, or the sheriff will come out and arrest you.
Jurisdiction over me, and the sheriff does not have any jurisdiction over
That's
me.
fine. Once you're released, I'll give you 90 days to pay an additional $1,500 for attorney's fees incurred by the plaintiff for today's proceeding. And I'll ask Ms. St. Fleur to submit the order.
Will do, Your Honor.
And include in that, the sheriff will notify the court when Ms. Lott has been arrested.
Can you guys provide me with evidence that you are Article 3 court and not a military court?
And
Some-
we'll send you a copy of the order.
Honestly don't understand what her strategy was here. It seems like she came into court thinking she could act irrational and avoid consequences, but that clearly didn't work. From the start, her behavior gave the impression that she wasn't thinking clearly, and in the end, the judge gave her 6 months for not paying $2,000 in court fees related to her previous offenses, including shoplifting. To me, this seemed like a case of someone refusing to take responsibility and instead leaning into a victim mindset. That kind of thinking feels more common these days. Some people seem to avoid accountability by blaming everything else, but that only takes you so far, especially in a courtroom. That said, credit to the judge for handling it all with professionalism. He barely reacted, kept his cool the entire time, and waited until the right moment to issue a firm but fair sentence. His no-nonsense approach stood out, and honestly, That kind of steady leadership is something we could use more of in daily life. This defendant had options. She could have had legal representation or worked something out, but instead, she chose to act out, and that clearly backfired. With a more reasonable attitude, she might have faced a fine instead of jail time. Unfortunately, arrogance and defiance don't go over well in court. As for whether this experience will change her, hard to say. She came across as someone who believes she's above the law, which is never a good place to be. Hopefully, the time she serves will lead to some self-reflection. Let me end on this note. If you stay out of trouble and take responsibility for your actions, you won't need to resort to excuses or dramatics. People who make mistakes should own them, learn, and move forward, not pretend they're powerless when they're not. That wraps up my thoughts on this one. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and what you'd like to see next. Thanks again for watching, and take care.